The first regional climate change conference held at the Bahamas resort for the past 2 days is now history. Lloyd Allen joins us live from the conference center tonight on what regional leaders were able to accomplish. Good evening, Lloyd.
Well, good evening, Germanita, and good evening, Bahamas. Of course, at this point, all roads lead to Egypt come November. But following this conference, the Prime Minister, during his closing remarks, said that, there's a draft summary that's expected to be issued to many of these regional heads by week's end. Additionally, this event is also intended to be an annual event. Standing here with us is Charles Hamilton. He's an advisor on climate change at the Office of the Prime Minister. And, of course, you sat in during the press briefing recently that represented 4 regional heads. That's from the Bahamas, from Grenada, Barbados, and Dominica as well. Obviously, an aggressive approach to this issue of climate change called the climate crisis. What were some of the major takeaways in your opinion?
Yeah, I'd say that some of the major takeaways were really that these leaders are fired up and they're ready to go ahead and combat this issue of the climate crisis swiftly and going into COP27. What we want to go ahead and do is ensure that there is funding available to address the significant loss and damages that are experienced in our region. And I think that the prime ministers who were here today expressed that very, very clearly, that we need support to address the loss and damage that our various countries are experiencing now and from future storms. We've also talked about ways how we can go ahead and procure much needed equipment, food and supplies to be able to address the climate crisis, so that way our people can be able to survive after a storm has traveled. We also talked about innovative means to be able to reduce the interest paid on loans so that we're not being punished for a climate disaster occurring in our country and that interest being put on our people. So I know that the note that we're going to put together and share among the heads will be something that really brings together all of their efforts and the plans going into COP, and that will be a key document for us moving forward.
Also a significant point, obviously many of these government leaders indicated that this is not a government issue, but an issue for the region and for people to really take initiatives to protecting the places we call home.
Yes, I think that what people get it mixed up is that climate change is not an environmental issue. Climate change is not a government issue. It's a whole of people issue. We need to protect people. We need to protect our environment, and we need to protect just all of the resources that we've been given. And I think that at the end of the day, when we put people at the focus of this, and that when we as people recognize that we must be at the center of this fight, that we have to support our governments, we need to support the NGOs, we need to support all the groups that are fighting to ensure that our lives and livelihoods can continue. We enjoy a particular way of life, and climate change is impacting that. And so I'm looking forward for persons in the Bahamas to talk about the issue of climate change and find ways that you can engage with your government.
And of course, that's a wrap up here at the Bahamas Resort. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.